What's going on, guys, and welcome to Formula 7 Realistic. This is realistic performance, driver salaries, team principles and team budgets. So this is it for round 9 here in Canada, one of the most favourite circuits on the calendar. TTL Dennis is coming out on intermediates because he does have a qualifying ban for today's race, and we do have a driver with a race ban. That driver is the championship leader, so he will not be taking part in the Canadian Grand Prix today. The reason he's out of the pit lane, Banana, is because you have to do one out lap to put your setup onto your car, otherwise it doesn't save. Rob J. Lewis is back on the grid. Game's very loud, just bear with me. Let me know if that's any better. It's still crashing. I've deleted everything as well. I was hoping that it wouldn't still crash, but it is a little quiet. So I might have to have a look at that and maybe start streaming without OBS. Right, Forza Ferrari is on a lap in the McLaren as well. I'm just going to do a quick sound check actually, just to make sure that it sounds okay. So Forza Ferrari in the McLaren. It's an amazing circuit here, Montreal, coming through the wall of champions. Look how close he gets there. And Forza Ferrari is going to come to the line. There'll be a lot of drivers hoping to get through Q1 today. One minute, I'm not in the party. So Forza Ferrari is the first driver to set a lap. Podge comes through in the Haas with a 1:12.3. Nick is on an out lap. Liam in the Mercedes. So down into turn 10 at the hairpin goes the Mercedes, and then early on the throttle, DRS enabled, ERS kicks in. I always say here, I think DRS just kicks in a little bit too late. You can still get the overtake done, but I think it should be earlier out of turn 10. Down into the wall of champions at 12 and 13, over the curb, very easy to invalidate. And you go very close to the wall of champions, down towards the line in the Mercedes, a 1:12.5. And that is slower by 2 tenths than the other Haas driver, and half a second slower than his Mercedes teammate. So Liam will not be happy with that. I'm sure he'll want to go again. The Vicar back on as well, a 1:13.1 for the Alfa Romeo. Nice to see the Vicar back on track. TTL Nick is on an out lap, so is Rob J. Lewis, but Nick is going to be the next driver. Here he comes out of the wall of champions, down towards the line and ready to set his first flying lap with 12 minutes of Q1 remaining. You know what, the crashing on stream is actually getting worse, guys, and I can only apologise. I might actually just end it and quickly just start it back up through the PlayStation, because I'm watching it. It's kind of frustrating actually, but I'd have to reset everything up, so I might just deal with it for this race and then have a look into it. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Okay, so it says it's something to do with the internet because my computer isn't actually on a wired connection. My PlayStation is. So that's what it's saying. So, as of Sunday, I will get it on a wired connection. There isn't an Ethernet cable port, but I'll get an Ethernet adapter and put it in. And hopefully that will sort it out. I mean, it is literally right next to the internet box. So. So TTL Nick went fastest in the Aston Martin, and his teammate a Bad Boy Man when Peter 1:10.9 in the Aston is a very quick lap time. TTL Dennis in the Ferrari with that qualifying ban will go out in Q1 and will start in P19. So the two Astons have a great lap. Rob J. Lewis is back on a lap as well. What's going on, East? How you doing, mate? Unlucky in the F2. So Rob just trying to get his bearings again. Sergio Silva is on a lap. Oh no, he's backed out. Rob did go P8. Sergio just giving a little wave, I think, to Ryan there. Hey, Mr. Reese, subscribe to Tier 1. Thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate that, Reese. Thank you. So, Sergio Silva is coming down. So, I've had a look online, and I think I know why the reason we're getting them screen freezes. So, I will try and sort it out for Sunday. Down towards the line goes Sergio Silva. And it's P5. What a lap for the Williams. Ryan Dad being in the AlphaTauri coming through the Wall of Champions. Oh, and he's backed out. He's backed out. He invalidated it. Oh, that's really tough on Ryan. When you invalidate it for the Wall of Champions, it means that you invalidate that lap and you invalidate the next lap as well. It's really tough. Max Block has also invalidated it. Senjo in the McLaren is on the lap. And he's flying here. Yeah, Banana, I've figured out what the lag is. I will try and get it sorted. I think it's something to do with either my settings or the internet. So I need a wired connection to the computer. So here comes Senjo down towards the line. It goes to McLaren. And P3 for him. Banter Brandon, whilst that was going on, in the Ferrari went up to P2. He's challenging for this championship. He will like the fact that his rival will not be on the grid today. One of them anyway. So he went up to P2. We've got Jack in the house going down into turn 10. at the hairpin. What can he do? He'll have to do something special in a Haas to get anywhere around Montreal. Here he comes, Henke in the Alfa Romeo. Has gone a 1:10.6 and has gone fastest here in Canada. And he's kept that valid. That's a really nice line for Jack in the Haas through there. To the line he goes, and it's P8. He is faster than both of the Mercedes, actually. Reese in the Alpine is going to be next. Oh, he's invalidated it. Oh, that's tough. Ginaudi in the Alpha Tauri is on an outlap as well. And he's just about to start his flying lap. So only 3 drivers will go out in Q1. Ryan and Fanfan still yet to set a lap, and Reese in the Alpine. Ginaudi did go P13, Fanfan and Ryan. Fanfan is actually on the lap at the moment. So coming through turn 3 and 4 at the moment. Round turn 5 and up towards turn 6 and 7. DRS enabled down towards turn 8 and 9. Yeah, some lap times them, Saro, for the Aston Martin boys. So down towards the hairpin at turn 10. Up the casino straight to the Wall of Champions for the Alpine. He's already had 3 podiums this season, Fanfan. I'm sure he'll get out of Q1 if he doesn't mess this up. And he doesn't, he's got it, and look how close, he was not off the throttle there. He was not phased one bit. P4 for Fanfan. Ryan Dipavini is going to be next into the Wall of Champions. Oh, and he's done the same, he's kept it valid. Ryan in the Alpha Tauri is going to come down towards the start-finish line. P7 for him, that moves the Vicar and Rob J. Lewis in at 2 at the bottom 5. Ginaudi is now the driver at risk as Reese tries to set a final lap with 3 minutes to go here in Montreal. Forza Ferrari has retired in P8, so he says that's enough. Sergio Silva is back out. All of these drivers, especially the likes of Ginaudi and Liam, really hoping that Reese invalidates here, but he's gone purple. Down into turn 10. DRS is going to be enabled for the Alpine. Yellow flags are waving. We have one Alpha, Williams and Alpine going out at the moment. Liam does improve, goes up to P11. Here comes Reese, and he kept it valid and so close to the World of Champions. Down towards the line goes the Alpine. It's going to be enough. It is P8. That moves Ginaudi into the bottom 2. Can Rob improve? The Vicar is not improving at the moment. Rob's down as well. think the Vicar is backed out. Is he going to try and go again? One last chance. He's currently 4 tenths behind Ginaldi, but he needs to find around 9 tenths of a second to get near Podge in the Haas. I can't wait for the update in Realistic to see the pace of these Williams cars improve as well. Podge on his way out, Ginaldi on an outlap, the Vicar I think might go again. He is going to go again. There he goes, the Alfa Romeo driver. So there's a big battle going on between the AlphaTauri and the Haas's as well here. Just on the driver risk is Podge. The Vicar is actually improving. He's 3 tenths up. The only thing that's going to kill him here is that DRS up the casino straight. That is, he really needed more than this, and I think he would have had a real good chance here, the Vicar. Yeah, that DRS is killing his lap time here, and it's just going to go from bad to worse up the straight. He's going to run out of that DRS by the time his DRS kicks in. Yeah, this is where your lap time just fades away from you. Yeah, into the pit lane goes the Vicar, so it's between Ginaldi and Podge. Ginaldi is already 3 tenths up. Podge actually has his teammate behind him as well. Did he give him a slipstream? Were the Haas drivers working together? Could both the Haases get through to Q2? Oh, that's a Williams in front of the AlphaTauri that spins. That was Rob. Will that put Podge off slightly? Podge is improving, but so is Ginaldi. Here comes Podge. Here comes Ginaldi. Ginaldi to the wall of champions in the AlphaTauri. Oh, and he just slips the back end. That could cost him. Here comes Ginaldi, down towards the line he goes. Ginaldi doesn't improve, Podge is through. That is both Haas drivers into Q2 here in Canada. So the Haas team principal will be very happy with that. So in Q1 it's Henke in the Alfa Romeo that goes fastest, it's Nick in the Aston Martin in P2, and then it's Banter Brandon in the Ferrari that takes P3. But the talking point is at the other end. It's TTL Dennis with that qualifying ban that will start in P19. Rob J. Lewis back on the grid will start in P18 in the Williams. The Vicar in the Alfa Romeo just missing out in P17, and it's the AlphaTauri of Ginaldi who just misses out to Podge by just 1/10 of a second as well. He did improve, but just not enough to catch Podge. Podge does get through, as well as the other Haas of Jack and the Williams of Sergio Silva, the Red Bull and Maxi as well. Only just making it through, but does it on the mediums. Yeah, don't worry, Rob. Unlucky, Rob. Don't worry, mate. So we move on to Q2. It is a full dry race here as well in Canada. So the mechanics will only be working on the one Ferrari car here in Q2. So for anybody watching here, this is what it will look like so far. Obviously we will have, this is for Saturday, we will have the co-host there as well, so there'll be 2 screens on the left, the podcast host, the podcast co-host, and then the special guest to the right. So you'll have 2 cameras on the left. There is going to be a separate screen just like this one as well for F7 podcasts, so not just special guests, so we can interview the likes of, like, say, Rob or Alvaro, somebody like that. We can get them in, and we can get more than 2 hosts in as well, so we can get like 6 or 7 people in, just an in-house podcast. And then when we do the special guest ones, this is what we'll do. But I am working on the other one, which will be the in-house podcasts as well. So, a couple of drivers on out lap, so I'm going to try and get with the leader. It is an Aston Martin. Oh, bad boy, man. Away. He does have 2 Hasses straight on his tail, though. Oh, no, sorry. 2 McLarens. My boys, it looked white from where I'm sitting. So, Bad Boy Man will be first to set a lap in Q2. It's very close. That's a beautiful line there. He's really on the limit here, Bad Boy Man. He has them McLarens chasing him now. The traffic just moving out of the way. That's the Alpine. That's Bad Boy Man. Coming down the casino straight down towards the World of Champions. Oh yeah, and he kept it valid. What a line there from Bad Boy Man. And that is, oh, and he just gets beat at 1:10.9, but it's a 1:10.6 from the McLaren in of Sendro. So Henke going fastest again in Q2 with 11 minutes of this qualifying session remaining. Forza Ferrari in P6 at the moment. So Banter Brandon is on an out lap. So we have Henke at the moment, the Norwegian, in first in the Alfa Romeo. Then we have the Norwegian of Sendro in P2 in the McLaren. Then it's the 2 Aston Martins in P3 and P4. But Banter Brandon about to start his flying lap. But we do have Podge and Suss on the lap. Suss goes into the pit lane. So we'll go on board with Banter Brandon. We'll go on board with... yeah, the Ferrari, through sector 1 he goes. And you'll see the pace difference here. Banter Brandon will really be throwing it around. And, you know, he's in a couple of championship battles this season, Banter Brandon. And I'm sure after moving from the Red Bull team to the Ferrari for season 3, who will want that decision to be the right decision. Down into turn 10 at the hairpin, keeping it nice and tight to the curb, and then you want to be going over the curb to the left hand side because you want to be early on the throttle. And down the casino straight to the wall of champions, DRS neighbourhood. You want to be hitting around 205 miles per hour when you break into the wall of champions. Over the curb, nice line, maybe a little hesitant as he went through the second of the turns, and it's a 1:10.9, it's only P3. I think that cost him through the wall of champions. Podge coming through sector 1 has backed out. You've got Jack still in the pit lane, Ryan Dykavini in the AlphaTauri has invalidated it. Fan finishing the Alpine, coming through sector 1, just started his flying lap, so we'll go on board with the Dutch driver. Guys, if you're listening, just let me know what it sounds like in terms of the game volume to my volume. Let me know if it's okay. The game volume is a tiny bit loud. Okay. See if that works. So Fanfinus went P4 there. A maxi block in the Red Bull goes fastest. Ryan Dykavini goes up to P4 as well. We've got Jack and Sergio Silva. Sergio Silva coming up towards the wall of champions to set his lap. Here comes Sergio. No, and he's made a mistake there. Jack in the Haas. Coming into turn 8 and 9. Nice line through there. And we didn't go on board Sergio Silva. So we've had a Redeemer go on board. Yeah, and he's well up on his lap time. The Portuguese Maestro. A little shaky going through turn 7. Through turn 8 and 9 for the Williams driver. Yeah, and he's around a 1:13, 1:12 lap time at the moment. So, just coming out of turn 10 up the casino straight. Down towards the wall of champions for the Williams driver. This is where he needs to get it right, needs to keep it valid, and he does. Into the wall of champions, DRS enabled. Where can Sergio go in that Williams? He's put everything into this lap, and it's P12 for Sergio Silva. Forza Ferrari in the McLaren is down in P13. You've got Jack, who did make it into the top 10 as well. So as it stands, the Haas driver would be going into Q3. That'll be the second time already in just as many races. If Jack doesn't get into a big team at the end of season 3, I'll be very surprised. So Jack is into the pit lane, Sergio Silva into P12. We've still got Sush yet to set a lap time though in the Mercedes. And he will be looking at getting through to Q3. His teammate is not in though, 1:11.9. He's around a tenth of a second behind the Haas driver of Jack. All the drivers in the pit lane apart from Reese in the Alpine, who is on a lap. No, he's invalidated it, so he will go again. Forza hasn't done his fresh tyre set yet. Oh, so keep an eye on at Forza. He will need to find around a second in pace to get through to Q3 here. So on board with Reese. Oh no, Reese has jumped over the wall of champion. No, he didn't. He was already invalid, I think. So no, his lap time will count. More Goose. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the drivers are good drivers. I don't know who you might be referring to or what you're referring to. The standard in F7 is quite high. Good standard. I know there's always going to be incidents because it's a motorsport race, and there's always going to be some incidents where drivers can do better, and we're always trying to improve that, and we're always trying to get the standards to be better. But all in all, it's not bad. Reese in the Alpine out of turn 10 and down the casino straight. And down towards the wall of champions for the Alpine. That's a nice line through there. He really went for it, Reese. Is it going to improve and get near the Astons? Oh, he absolutely is. He's gone in front of the Ferrari and the AlphaTauri as well. Reese is up to P4 in the Alpine. Suss in the Mercedes is also on a lap. He will try and improve, and he will try to get through to Q3. So, under a minute left of Q2. Suss in the Mercedes is out. He's into the pit lane. Podge is on his way out. Sergio Silva is trying to improve as well. Kieran and Liam, this could be the two Mercedes out once again in Q2. Hopefully not. The two Haas drivers as well look to be going out. And one of the Williams, as it stands, they are all on outlaps. Forza Ferrari did improve and went into the top 10. And that will take him through to Q3 if none of the other drivers improve. I'm surely we will see one of the Mercedes trying to improve. Liam and Suss is already out, so it'll just be down to Liam, Sergio Silva and Podge. Sergio Silva coming through Sector 2. You've got Jack just starting his flying lap as well. So Sergio Silva coming down towards turn 10 at the hairpin. That is the checkered flag waved here. Bad Boy Man can do no more. Neither can Brandon. There is 4 drivers in the 110.9s, and one of them is in P9. That is how close it is from going through and going out. But the pace difference from P9 to P10 is telling. Can any of the drivers get into that little gap and take that P10 away? Sergio Silva is not going to be the one to do it though. In P13 he goes. Podge is down on his lap time. Liam is improving, but is it going to be enough? It will be enough to go in front of Jack, potentially Forza as well. Liam goes P10. Here comes Jack, down to the World Champions. Liam is through in the Mercedes at the moment. Forza Ferrari has invalidated it. He can do no more. Here comes Jack in the Haas to try and get through to Q3 here in Montreal. Down towards the start-finish line. He goes and just misses out. He was improving. He was improving, and it's the Mercedes of Liam that does get through. And both the Haas drivers go out in Q2. So unfortunate that it was really close. So that is it for Q2. Max Bock in the Red Bull goes fastest. It's the Alfa Romeo of Henke and the McLaren of Sandro. Out in P15, it's Suss in the Mercedes and Podge in the Haas that joins him in P14. Sergio Silva in P13 and Forza Ferrari in the McLaren in P12. And it's Jack in the Haas that just misses out by a tenth of a second to Liam in the Mercedes, who will start in P10. Sorry guys, I was just a bit busy. So Fanfinis in Q3 with 8 minutes to go. He has gone fastest and on provisional pole. He is actually quicker by half a tenth than Maxi Block in the Red Bull. That is a huge lap time from Fanfinis in the Alpine. We've got Bad Boy Man, Sendro on a lap as well. Henke's on an out lap, but it's going to be Bad Boy Man in the Aston Martin that will go first. Into the Wall of Champions. He does have a little bit of traffic in front of him. That is an Alpine. But it's going to be Bad Boy Man 2 at the line. Ryan Davina P2. Bad Boy Man up to P4. Reese yet to set a lap time. He was just coming through to start his flying lap in front of the Aston Martin. Nick as well coming into the Wall of Champions. Here comes, oh, he's invalidated it, Nick. Here comes Sendro. Oh, he slides and invalidates it. They're all doing it. Banter Brandon starts his flying lap. He's got a little bit of traffic in front of him. That's a Mercedes of Liam. Oh, and that, I think that put Brandon off ever so slightly. Here comes Henke as well, but it's going to be Nick that is going to be next, I think. And then Reese as well. No, it's going to be Reese. There is an Alfa Romeo there, actually, of Henke. I think that is going to be the next driver. That's purple sector 2 for the Alfa Romeo driver. If you just bear with me with the screen freezes for this race, I will have it sorted by Sunday. I'm going to sort it out, don't worry. So Henke down into sector 3. Into the Wall of Champions. Oh, that's tight. That is close. Sendro had damage. That's why he's sliding on the brakes. And Henke has gone provisional pole here in Canada. What a lap. TTL Nick, Liam is coming as well. Reese went P6, couldn't beat any of the lap times. Liam has invalidated it. Sendro has invalidated it. Banter Brandon went P2 with a 1:10.6 in the Scuderia. What a lap time from Brandon, but it is Henke by 0.3 of a second that sits on pole position here in Montreal. What a lap from him. So, Banter Brandon. Is Banter Brandon going again? No, into the pit lane he goes. I hope nobody loses it. I hope nobody loses it through the Wall of Champions or turn 1 at the start of this Grand Prix, because ghosting is not on him realistic. And neither is red flags, so there'll be no restarts. So if there's a huge pile up, it'll be like Hockenheim. Max Bock has just gone P2, by the way, in the Red Bull. What a lap time. He's set the exact same lap time as Henke. The Red Bull and the Alfa Romeos have both set a 1:10.325. Henke said it first. He will be on provisional pole at the moment, but wow, you cannot get any closer if you tried. Incredible. That is a standard that these drivers have set. So we have 3 minutes of qualifying remaining here in Canada. It's all to play for. Everybody into the pit lane. They will all start to leave and they will give it one last shot. But at the moment, it is an Alfa Romeo on pole position. There's a Red Bull of Maxi Block in P2. There's Banter Brandon in the Ferrari, currently in P3, and then Fanfitness in the Alpine in P4. Yeah, we've got a right mixture. It's Alfa Romeo, Red Bull, Ferrari, Alpine, Alpha Tauri, Aston Martin. 6 different teams in the top 6 at the moment. What more could you ask for? So all the drivers starting to come out. Reese leads the way. Williams on pole. Imagine. Saro, I do not have a clue. But it is Fanfitness at his first on a lap. Here comes the Alpine to do his final run. Then it's the 2 Aston Martins of Bad Boy Man and Nick who are next as well. But Fanfitness going down towards turn 8 and 9 with the DRS enabled, giving it everything now. He needs to get it right and he just slips and slides, and that's a huge mistake for the Alpine driver. But he is giving it everything here in Montreal as they go down towards the hairpin at turn 10. I think he's really messed this up. Yeah, I think he's going to back out. Yeah, that's it for Fanfitness. He will not get any better than P4. Bad Boy Man is down on his lap time as well. TTL Nick has gone purple sector 2, so he is trying to improve. Where is Bad Boy Man? Down into the hairpin he goes. TTL Nick to the wall of champions. Fanfitness is into the pit lane, couldn't improve. TTL Nick to the wall of champions at 209 miles per hour over the wall of champions, keeps it valid. Not as clean as he would have liked it. Where can the Aston Martin go? Down towards the line, and it's P7. It wasn't the cleanest of laps. It's going to be Reese who is improving. He's 6 tenths up. It's going to put him around P3. To the line he goes. P3 goes Reese. We now have the Mercedes of Liam as well to the line, then the Alfa Romeo of Henke. Liam is going to go P9 in the Mercedes. Henke, the Norwegian, a 1:10.2. Then the Red Bull at Maxi Block takes it away. A 1:10.1 for the Red Bull driver, Banter Brandon in P3. Ryan Dybavine takes that P4. Here comes Senjo, but pole position goes the way of Maxi Block. Senjo took that P3 away as well. Pole position goes Belgium in the Red Bull, wins it by 1.5 tenths to start on pole position. Starting alongside him on the front row of this grid is Henke in the Alfa Romeo. His countryman of Senjo in the McLaren will start on the second row of the grid. Alongside him is Banter Brandon in the Ferrari. On the third row of the grid is Ryan Dybavine in the Alpha Tauri, and then the duo of Reese in the Alpine in P6 and Fanfitness in the Alpine in P7. Alongside him on the fourth row of the grid is Bad Boy Man in the Aston Martin in P8, and his teammate of TTL Nick will be on the fifth row of the grid in P9. Alongside him, the Mercedes of Liam in P10. So we are getting ready for the start of this Grand Prix. It should be an exciting one here in Canada. As the clock ticks down, it is time for us to go racing here at Formula 7 Realistic. Here we go, this is it for the Canadian Grand Prix. Sponsored by Rock Solid Rigs. And it's lights out and away we go. Maximot does get a good start going down into turn 1 and 2 at the centre virage. It's Henke that moves into P2. Banner Brandon is up 1. So is Reese. Sendro's lost 2 places through the centre virage. Bad Boy Man's up 2. Ryan Dapivine trying to come back at him into turn 3 and 4. The Alpha Tauri nips back in front of the Aston Martin. Fanfurness is down 2. Jack is through on his teammate of Podge as well. Ginaudi up 2. Dennis up 3. Forza Ferrari down the inside of Fanfurness in the Alpine, who's down 2 places. The Alpine, the McLaren, the Aston Martin of Nick, all squabbling for positions as they go down towards turn 8 and 9. Liam is already up 2 as well into P8 and Bad Boy Man improving. Banner Brandon has got past Henke and he's now into P2 as he chases down the Red Bull in towards turn 10 at the hairpin. Out of turn 10 they go, all the drivers still in this race here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. Sergio Silva is down 6 places. I think he did get damage. Really unfortunate for him to see both the Williams at the back of this grid. Banner Brandon now outside that DRS range of that Red Bull as they go into the Wall of Champions. Henke trying to keep that pace, but here comes Reese in the Alpine. Doesn't need the DRS. He will try and use the slipstream on the Alfa Romeo as they go down into turn 1 and then in towards turn 2 at the centre virage. Bad Boy Man. Oh, the Alpha Tauri makes a slight mistake. That's Ryan that loses the back end and loses the rears. So, Bad Boy Man still right on the back of the Alpha Tauri. He is chasing him down. He just backs out. Maybe waiting for a better opportunity. Good racing from Bad Boy Man. Doesn't want a chance. Anything risky at this point in the race with 33 laps to go. He is going to try it though, down into the hairpin. No, backs out again and then he goes for it. The Aston Martin and Bad Boy Man on the mediums as well. And then you've got the Alpha Tauri on the hard. So he is on the faster tyre compound. Down the casino straight towards the Wall of Champions. Ryan back into the slipstream of the Aston Martin, but the straight line speed of Bad Boy Man. Then we've got Forza Ferrari on Fanfurness as well. Reese with that 3 seconds already. Forza coming there through there pretty slow, but he is up to P10 and into the points in that McLaren. DRS is now enabled, but Maxibok is already 2.3 seconds clear of the Ferrari in P2. Now let's have a look at tyres. So that's the reason that Maxibok is so far ahead and Nick is out. Nick is out. He's in the middle of the track. The other drivers need to be careful here. The safety car is out. Nick is out. The Aston Martin with a huge collision out of turn 4. And he is out of this Grand Prix. That is a safety car. And Maxibot that needed to create a huge gap on them soft compound tyres. What's going on, East? So on them soft compound tyres is Maxibot. Nick is out. That's really unfortunate for the Aston Martin team, who had a great qualifying session. What does Maxi do now? He is on them softs. He is going to stay out. Is anybody going to take the chance? Reese has pitted. So he did start on the mediums. He's gone into the hards. Oh, he needed a front wing change. So he needed a front wing change, Reese. So that's why he's pitted. But he has got a pit stop out of the way. But he will still have to come in again. 31 laps to go. So Reese and Rob. But it is Max what the leads, and now Banter Brandon is on the back of him. Sergio says his car's not working. Not sure what's happened there. Really unfortunate for Sergio. He looked like he had decent pace in that Williams today. Sorry guys. So Rob is through on the Vicar. I'm not sure how that happened under the yellow flags of the safety car. So Reese will be on the freshest tyres. Banana, I always do when the sun's out. I have really, really bad hay fever. So Maximock leads this Grand Prix to Banter Brandon in the Ferrari, Henke in the Alfa Romeo in P3, Sendro in the McLaren in P4, it's Bad Boy Man in the Aston Martin in P5, it's Ryan Dijkpaveen in the Alfa Tauri in P6, the Mercedes of Liam in P7, Fanfinis in the Alpine in P8. That is 8 different teams in the top 8. I don't think we've had that all season, but 8 teams. 8 separate teams in the top 8. The only 2 teams that are not in the top 8 is a Williams and a Haas. That is it. Every other team represented in the top 8. So the safety car is in this lap and we're going to go racing again. So Maximot goes on the soft compound tyres through the wall of the champions. Forza getting that 3 seconds. Banter Brandon trying to stick with Maxi for as long as possible. They would have helped his soft tyres, the safety car for Maxi. That would mean his soft will last a little bit longer and potentially go for the soft to medium strategy. Henke still trying to stay with him. That is Fanfinis on the back of Liam. Great aerial shots as they go up towards turn 6 and 7. That is Mercedes that nearly taps the back of the Alfa Tauri. And look at this from the Alpine. That is Fanfinis down the inside of the Mercedes of Liam. Wheel to wheel, side by side. But the Mercedes with that straight line speed. But later on the brakes goes Fanfinis. Off the track goes the Mercedes. But Fanfinis is through and out of turn 9. Down towards turn 10 at the hairpin. Here comes the McLaren of Forza Ferrari. The 3 wide. Forza's down the inside. He's gone deep. The Alpine is down the inside and back up to P7 on the DRS straight as well, up the casino straight to the wall of champions. Kieran and Liam coming right back at him in the Mercedes at 200 miles per hour. The McLaren down the inside as well into the wall of champions. What a battle, what a race. The McLaren is through on Fanfinis. The Alpine back down to P9. The McLaren now attacks the Mercedes as they go down in towards turn 1 and 2 at the centre virage. The McLaren round the outside. The Mercedes down the inside. The Ferrari wants a bit of the action as well. Now the Belgium driver of Dennis is on the back of the Alpine. The Dutchman down in towards turn 3 and 4. The McLaren coming close to the wall. Liam chasing him down. Fanfinis is there as well. And Dennis in the scooter rear. The Haas of Jack trying to cling on to the back of these as well now. Look at this. What a battle we have in the middle of this pack. Maxi already 1.3 clear as well. So Forza, remember there's no DRS yet, so this is just all slipstream and straight line speed. Forza got a really good exit. The Ferrari Dennis trying to chase him down. DRS is now enabled into the wall of champions. Here comes Fanfinus on the back of Kieran and Liam again, down into turn 1. But he's going to have to wait for a better opportunity. He is going to have a look. Liam is having a good race here. Sergio Silva getting past his teammate of Rob J. Lewis. So now they're going to have that DRS. It is going to be enabled. Down towards turn 8 and 9. Is Fanfinus going to be able to close the gap on the Mercedes? No, he's not, because the Mercedes also had DRS on Forza Ferrari. But look how close this is. So Rob with that 3 seconds into the hairpin, the Ferrari nearly tapping the back of the Alpine. Liam 8/10 off the McLaren. He's nearly outside that DRS, but this will bring him right back into contention. The DRS so strong. Oh, there goes Dennis on the Alpine. The Ferrari is through and up to P9. And the Alpine is going to try and come back at him with that DRS and the slipstream, but unable to with the straight line speed of the Ferrari. Sergio, it's really weird you say that, because my car was doing the exact same thing in France. Every time I accelerated, it just wouldn't go, and I thought it was something to do with my straight line speed, or I thought I had damage. Yeah. Banana, yeah, it's not to do with my graphics. I need to have a look at the settings. I need to plug an Ethernet cable in. Sus is through on Jack as well. The Mercedes up to P11. Dennis is through on Liam, and now chases down the McLaren. Oh, you're not driving, Sergio? No, yeah, just DNF in the pits, mate. Yeah, the screen freezes are really annoying, but I had a look online. Apparently it's to do with the internet. It's not on an Ethernet cable, so that's going to help. And also my computer, I didn't know until I just checked, it needs updating, so that could be it as well. So Dennis is through on Forza and up to P7 now. Forza with that 3-second time penalty. Banner Brandon got through on Maxibot. What happened? Maxibot 9 laps on them softs, and he's been overtaken by Banter Brandon. Wow. With 25 laps to go as well. We missed that. We were so invested in the battle in the midfield that we completely missed the overtake from Banter Brandon. So I think Maxibot will just try his hardest to stay on the back of Banter Brandon with the DRS on them old softs. He will be doing his best. Oh, that's Sergio out. Oh yeah, he's out in the pits. He can't control his car, no problem. Really unfortunate for Sergio Silva. So Maxibot, remember, he will have this DRS, and as long as he can stay with Brandon on them old used softs, this is really going to benefit him come at the end of the race. But I do think the undercut will be very strong here. Liam is back through on Fanfinus as well, and yeah, Maxibot is not going to make the move on the Ferrari. That is TTL Dennis on Ryan. The Ferrari on the Alpha Tauri is through into the Wall of Champions. Maxibot on Brandon. I think he will happily just stay behind him for now. There's a yellow flag. I don't know who that is though. Oh, that is Rob J. Lewis. Remember, cars do not ghost here, so they just need to be careful, especially coming with the traffic coming up. Fanfinus and Liam. So Fanfinus in the Alpine is through. Oh, what a battle out of turn 10 here at the hairpin. Liam losing a position and his teammate is through as well. DRS is enabled. Will we see any more changes in the Mercedes team? Bad Boyman with that 3 seconds. Reese is through on Forza Ferrari as well into the Wall of Champions. And he is through. And that is the 2 Alpines. That is Dennis through on Bad Boyman as well. The Ferrari is through on the Aston Martin. So Banter Brandon leads to Maxi Block in second. Remember, Maxi's still in the mode softs. He's doing really well to stay with the Ferrari. He's got that DRS and he will continue to use it and stay with him on them old softs. Oh, here goes Maxi. Maxi on 12 lap old softs has retaken the lead here in Canada. 1, 2, 3, 4, all separated by less than half a second. Fanfordus is through on Reese as well, the Alpine. Swapping with his teammate. And can Reese come back at him? They are just in front of the McLaren. So Henke is now chasing down Banter Brandon. Who was that? Oh, that was Rob, just trying to get out of the way. Nicely done from Rob. So, just needs to be careful. You got TTL Dennis, and that is Banter Brandon back through on Maxi. Banter Brandon in the Ferrari retakes the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix. TTL Dennis is on the charge as well. Remember, he's on the hard compound tyres. So, TTL Dennis 4 seconds behind. Blue flags are waving. Will he get DRS though? Pods with that 3 seconds. Here comes Maximo. Maximo to retake the lead. 3 changes of the race lead in 1 lap here in Montreal. Look at the Ferrari of Banter Brandon as well. Right back on his tail. Down into turn 1. Side by side they go and just slots back in behind the Red Bull. So Maxi Block, Banter Brandon once again. Banter Brandon down the inside of Maxi Block. Here they go, wheel to wheel, side by side. It's the Red Bull that will lead on them 14 lap old softs, but Brandon is coming right back at him, down towards the wall of champions, and that's exactly what we're showing here. And that is Maxi Block that's gone into the pit lane, so he's gone for the undercut. 20 laps remaining, he's done 15 on the softs. Fanfness back on his teammate. The two Alpines go side by side, and Fanfness is back in front. So the Alpines, no team orders in that garage. That now all the drivers start to come into the pits. The pit strategy is starting to come into play, but it's Banter Brandon that's been left out in the lead of the Montreal Canadian Grand Prix. Henke in P2, Senjo in the McLaren in P3. Dennis is starting to catch. Remember, he's on them hard compound tyres. Do not take your eyes off him. The question is, where does Maxi come out? He's come out right behind the Haas. That's not where he wanted to come out. And he moves on through down the inside. This is not a fight that Jack wants to be taking on. That is yellow flags. A safety car now would be awful for the Red Bull. That is definitely not what he wants to see, especially when he's just pitted. So fresh mediums potentially to the end of this race. Does Banter Brandon follow him into the pits? Here it goes. Banter Brandon, he does. So he follows him. Henke stays out, so does Senjo. So it's Banter Brandon that goes into the pit lane for them fresh tyres. Fanfness with that time penalty. So Reese and Fanfness changing places again. The two Alpines are not scared to have a battle here. Maxi, welcome Banter Brandon. This is the question. Where did he come out? Here comes Maxi into turn 2 at the centre of Virage. He's going to come out side by side with the Ferrari after the pit stop's completed. The Red Bull right on the tail of Banter Brandon. Remember, Brandon got onto the hard compound tyres till the end of this race. Maxi Block onto the mediums. Is it the right choice? Banter Brandon had no other choice. He had to use the other set, and he weren't going to go softs till the end of the race. So Maxi Block is going to be on the quicker tyre compound, and he's definitely got the first of the two hands on the race win here. So Maxi Block and Banter Brandon, this has been an amazing battle between the two of them. So Senjo just overtook Henke as well for the lead of this Grand Prix. Wow, so the McLaren is now leading here in Canada. That is Maxi Block on Banter Brandon once again down into the wall of champions, and Maxi Block will be in the lead as long as Banter Brandon can stay with him with that DRS on them hard tyres. They will definitely play a factor come the end of this race. It looks to me like Senjo and Henke are going to play the long game and go on to the softs. And the only problem with that strategy, what they're trying here, is by the time Senjo and Henke do pit for the softs, they could potentially be 5 to 10 seconds behind Maxi and Brandon when they were not even half a second behind them. And they could end up 10 to 20 times longer than that behind them if they decide to wait and go on to the softs. So Henke will try and make the move on Senjo down into turn 1. They both stayed out again. Bad Boy Man is into the pit lane. Does he go softs? I think softs could last 16 laps. I mean, Maxi just did 14 on them. No, onto the hards he goes. So Dennis, he's not catching as much as I thought he would do here, Dennis, especially on the hards. But Maxi and Brandon, let's just, I want to keep an eye on, oh, Maxi 3 seconds, that is crucial. Oh, wow. I want to keep an eye on this graphics to the leader. Because at the moment, yeah, Maxi and Brandon are already way ahead of Senjo and Henke. And considering they were in a in a DRS train as well. Cheers, Harvey. Thanks, mate. I appreciate it. It's probably because my hay fever's cleared up a bit, actually. I've had a blocked nose, really stuffy nose for like 3 weeks as well. I will sort out the freezing as well on the screen. I'm going to sort that out for Sunday. That lagging in the screen freezes. I will get that sorted. Maximock is through on Fanfinus. So Maximock is through. Now here comes Banter Brandon. Fanfinus yet to pit, and this is not what Brandon wants to see. Maximock as well on the back of Ryan at Pavine. And through they go. Here goes the Ferrari past the Alpine. The Red Bull past the AlphaTauri. The Ferrari is going to try and go down the inside as well. And nearly clips the AlphaTauri around the outside of turn 1. And turn 2 at the centre of a rise. Banter Brandon is through. And he stays on the tail of Maximock. And you look at the gap. I mean, when they pitted, there was less than a second between the top 4. And by the time Senjo and Henki pit here and go onto the soft compound tyres, the gap is going to be way too huge, surely, to come back on them softs and navigate through the traffic as well. But we will see. Bad Boy Man on their fresh hards as well. Brandon needs to stay within this DRS. He cannot let Maxi get away. He knows that Maxi's got a 3-second time penalty. He also knows that Maxi's tyres will die off way before his. So he needs to stay within that DRS. He is just about inside it. He will have the DRS going up to the Wall of Champions. Senjo and Henki have pitted. That's a yellow flag. That's Rob's out. Rob is out. That's a safety car. Rob has lost it into the Wall of Champions. That has helped a lot of drivers. And I'm trying to get a glimpse of where he's lost it. That means Senjo and Henki in onto the soft compound tyres. Wow, that is huge. A safety car on lap 21. TTL Dennis has just missed the pit lane, so he's going to have to go around and pit again. What do Maxi and Brandon do here? Their strategy is completely gone. This is really bad for them because they were 10 to 12 to 13 seconds in front of Senjo and Henki after going for the undercut. That undercut is effectively gone now. The undercut is gone. There was no point in it. That safety car has completely ruined the strategy for Maxi and Brandon in the Red Bull and the Ferrari. Huge talking point there is TTL Dennis got a drive-through time penalty. Oh, that is really bad for him. Banter Brandon did pit as well, so that has made things really interesting. The fact that Maxi's stayed out on 6 lap-old mediums. Every single driver behind him is on fresher tyres, and Brandon did pit to go onto fresh softs and only came out in P6, so he has given up a couple of positions. But he's not too far behind. He's got everybody behind him on fresher mediums. So I would say that's a pretty good decision from the Ferrari. Maxi being in the lead, it is huge for him. He realistically needs Senjo to hold the pack up behind him, but he also needs to try and get away. And I don't think it's going to be as easy as just taking off here. So, Maxi Block to Senjo in the McLaren. To Henke in the Alfa Romeo in P3. Dennis in the Ferrari in P4. He's got a drive-through time penalty. Bad Boy Man in the Aston Martin in P5. Banter Brandon, who pitted again in the Ferrari in P6. Then we have Ryan Dapavine in the AlphaTauri in P7. Reese in the Alpine in P8. The Mercedes of Sus, who also got a drive-through time penalty in P9. Forza Ferrari in P10. And Fanfinus in P11 all the way down to P11. So that undercut from Maxi and Banter Brandon, really unlucky for them. They didn't benefit at all from that. Hopefully the safety car will go in and they can go racing again with 12 laps remaining. So, safety car will definitely be in at the end of this lap. We then go racing once again here in Montreal. It's been another cracking, realistic race. The Williams team principal will not be happy with both his drivers out of this race. The Williams team principal being myself. TTL Nick in the Aston Martin also out. But it is the Red Bull to McLaren, to Alfa Romeo, Ferrari and Aston Martin. Still 5 separate teams in the top 5. Safety car is in this lap as to go in towards turn 10 at the hairpin. And I'm sure Maxi will give that safety car a little bit of space now to get a nice gap. He will back up the pack, get them all to form a nice orderly queue. And then when he's ready to go, he will dictate the race start. So he's still weaving just to get some heat into the medium tyres. He knows they've got the fresher tyres behind him. And he's going to have to show all his experience of being a world champion here. And off he goes into the Wall of Champions. He did get a nice gap there, nearly 7/10 of a second through the Wall of Champions on the fresher tyres. Is Senjo already catching up to him as he has more grip. Down towards turn 1 they go. He's half a second clear, Maxi, but you look at the grip of that McLaren. The Norwegian driver already right on his tail. And look at this, Senjo is really chasing him down. Should Maxi have pitted when Banter Brandon did? That is the 2 Haas drivers. That is Podge and Jack. Oh, Podge is out. That's another safety car. This might give an opportunity to Maxi Block to pit, but it would throw him right down the grid. So did Jack get... Jack's got a missing front wing as well. Was that a huge collision between the 2 Haas drivers? They had such an amazing qualifying. And the Haas team principal will not be happy to see one driver out and one driver missing a front wing here in Canada. Did Ginaudi get involved as well? No, he didn't. He's still got all his front wing intact. So, we got a half a lap after the safety car. This is actually pretty good for Maxi and his medium tyres. That means he can save them a lot more and potentially hold on, because them soft tyres will probably fall off about the same time as the mediums now. So Maxi could stay out here and just continue to hold on to the mediums. Yeah, that's exactly what he'd do. I wouldn't have stayed out under the first safety car, but I absolutely would have stayed out now, because them softs are realistically at the same age as the mediums now. They're on 5-lap-old softs to 10-lap-old mediums. They're probably the same tyre degradation though. Liam Pitts, Gennady Pitts and the Vicar Pitts. Alpha Tauri, Alfa Romeo and Mercedes. I still think Bad Boy Man's in a good position as well. So 9 laps remaining here in Montreal. Safety car is in this lap. We're going to have 8 laps of racing, 5 of them with DRS. And Maxibot will lead the Grand Prix, the Red Bull driver. He does have a time penalty, so does Senjo, but Henke is well in a chance of getting minimum a podium and potentially a race win. So Maxibot will gather the pack up once again, get him in a nice formally queue. And then down into the Wall of Champions. Is he going to go a bit later this time? Yeah, as soon as he sees the Wall of Champions, he goes. And he does get about 4/10 of a head start. And that's the McLaren at the back as well. I see McLaren pushing and shoving. That's Forza Ferrari and the Alpine of Fanfinus as well as to go 4 wide into turn 1. Forza Ferrari on sus, nearly into the back of the Alpine as to go through the centre virage. The McLaren round the outside of the Mercedes as they slip and slide. That's the Mercedes of Liam as well. That's Banter Brandon already through. Bad Boy managed to go down in towards turn 5 and 6. Fanfinus with a time penalty as well. Senjo chasing down Maxibot. The Ferrari, the Alfa Romeo of Henke is there as well. Let's go on to tyres, but I want to go on to intervals now. We just had it on leader for the pit stops to see where we were at. But here comes Dennis on the back of Henke down the inside of turn 10. The Alfa Romeo's gone into the back of the McLaren. The Ferrari of Dennis trying to go down the inside. And Dennis is eyeing up a race win here all the way from a qualifying ban in P19. That would be one hell of a drive. Senjo into the slipstream of the Red Bull, but he just backs off and waits. And that is the Ferrari. No, the Ferrari, I forgot he had a drive-through time penalty. Oh, if Dennis didn't have a drive-through, he would 100% be in a chance of a race win here in Canada. 6 laps remaining, and now it's Banter Brandon in the other Ferrari to chase down that victory. He will have to do one thing, though, and that's get past the Alfa Romeo of LTX Henke. Senjo on the back of Maxibot. Maxibot still holding on them 13 lap old mediums, but he's going to have to hold on a little bit longer. That is Fanfinus on Bad Boy Man as well. The two Dutch drivers just squabbling. That is Jack on the Vicar, and Jack is through and in to turn 8 and 9, and the Haas driver is up to P12. Don't count him out yet. You look at all of them drivers with time penalties in front of him. You look at all them drivers with time penalties in front of him, and this could be big points for Ginaudi and Jack on the Vicar. And Banter Brandon is through on Henke, and Banter Brandon is now in pole position for the race win. What a drive that would be. DRS now enabled, 5 laps to go here in Montreal. That is Fanfinus through on Reese. The two Alpines swapping places again. The Alpines are on for some good points here, by the way. So all Jack and Ginaudi have to do is just stay in that DRS train, and they are on for some huge points. They're so tightly bunched as well in the midfield that you could potentially get up to sort of P6 or P5 here. That is Forza Ferrari on Bad Boy Man. Forza Ferrari in the McLaren. Round the outside of the Aston Martin, they nearly touch, and the Aston Martin pushes the Ferrari off the track. And Forza Ferrari having to back out. And he was definitely entitled to a little bit of space there. The McLaren didn't get it. And I'm sure he will probably report that. But we will take a look. That is Senjo into the lead of this Grand Prix. Senjo waited for the DRS. He got it. And now Maxi Block is into P2. So that would mean that Maxi Block would be out of the podium. Senjo setting the fastest lap of this Grand Prix on lap 10. That means, yeah, Ryan Davivine is through on Fanfinus, the two Dutchies as well. The Alpha Tauri down the inside of the Alpine. Who would have thought it? The Alpha Tauri of Ryan down towards turn 3 and 4 they go. Side by side. It's not somewhere you want to go side by side through. And the Alpine want to move from Fanf. And the other Alpine says, I'll have a piece of that as well. And Reese goes through. Maxibot already 1.2 behind Senjo. This is unbelievable. Senjo is taking off. He does have that penalty. And he needs to create a gap. And Liam is out. Liam is out. Safety car. Oh, this is awful for the drivers with penalties. But keep your eyes on Ginaudi, on Jack, on the Vicar, on Dennis. Imagine the Haas driver of Jack gets a podium here. Just imagine the scenes. He's on the freshest soft compound tyres as well as Ginaudi as well. This would be unbelievable. Wow, wow, wow. Let's have a look at the penalties. So, 3 seconds for Bad Boy Man. That's exactly what they want to see. Right at the back of the pack with 3 seconds. Forza with 6. That's what they want to see. Bad Boy Man, where is Bad Boy Man? Bad Boy Man's into the pit, so he's out the way. That's brilliant for Ginaudi and Jack. That means they've got Forza in front of them on 3 seconds. Drive through again for Sus. What is going on with Sus? 6 seconds for Forza Ferrari. 3 seconds for Ryan. 3 seconds for Reese. 6 for Fanfinus. That's exactly what they want to see. The front of the penalties being the largest of the penalties. That's Fanfinus with 6. But do not count out Senjo and Maxwell. They've both got 3 seconds. That means that Banter Brandon will win this race. Henke will get P2. But potentially Ginaudi or Jack, potentially, if they stay really tight-knitted here to the line, could potentially get a podium. It is all to play for on lap 32 of the Canadian Grand Prix. But remember, Ginaudi and Jack have the freshest tyres as well. So I really do think they're going to be super quick here. And they're not going to be easily shrugged off by the quicker and bigger teams. Another safety car. That means another lap of the safety car, which means there's going to be no DRS till the end of this race. That is no DRS until the end of this race. That is huge. That means that Ginaldi and Jack have to stay within 3 seconds of all the drivers in front across 2 laps to get a podium. The 2 AlphaTauris in great positions. Brilliant stuff. The AlphaTauri team principal in the chat now. So what a race. It is drama. Bad Boy Man, Dennis and Sus all pitting for fresh sauce, but Sus getting another drive through. That's his second of the evening. I'm good, Tribo. How are you, mate? Why would Brandon let Henke win? Brandon's competing for a championship. He's got his championship contender out of the race with a race ban. He's got his other championship contender in front of him with a penalty. He's going to want to win this race. He's going to want to take maximum points here. So safety car will be in this lap, I'm sure of it. Yes, it will. So we're going to have 2 full laps of racing here at the Gilles Villeneuve circuit in Montreal. Don't worry, Tribo. It's been a pretty good race, actually, to be fair. So Senjo will lead the safety car restart. And we will have 2 full laps of racing with everything to play for. I hope Ginaldi and Jack don't get sloppy and nervous here. But Senjo will lead the way and Maximot will chase him down. That's a good start from Senjo. Oh, down into turn 1. They go into the wall of champions. That is the McLaren on the AlphaTauri. That's Forza Ferrari on Ryan Divine. That's Ginaldi. That's Jack. Jack trying to go around the outside. Ginaldi got a penalty. Ginaldi got a time penalty. That's Jack that moves on through in the Haas. So Jack is through. Jack needs to stay within 3 seconds. Ryan already nearly a second behind Reese. That is going to slow the drivers down behind. Brandon trying to stay with him. Dennis is through on the Vicar. Remember, Jack on them fresher soft compound tyres. Senjo leads this Grand Prix to Maxi Block in P2, the Red Bull driver. The Ferrari of Banner Brandon in P3 to Henke in the Alfa Romeo in P4. The 2 Alpines of Fanfinus and Reese in P5 and P6 to Ryan Divine in P7. Jack in P9 has no penalties. He's right on the back of Forza Ferrari. Remember, he's got them grippier, softer tyre compounds. And here comes Jack. If he gets past Forza, this will be brilliant. And the Ferrari of Dennis goes steaming down the inside. And that is the Ferrari that will take away that podium away from Jack. But still will be a good result for the Haas driver. A huge lunge from Dennis. Here comes Jack. Remember, Dennis on 2-lap old softs. And Jack knows what he needs to do now. And that's Maxi Block on the back of Senjo. These are still huge points. Dennis setting the fastest lap of this Grand Prix. Dennis knows without a time penalty, he is on for a podium. Let's take a look at the gap to the leader. So on the very last lap of this race, and Jack and Dennis would just miss out on the podium. Jack is about 5 seconds off the leader at the moment. He would potentially... That's a yellow flag. That's a yellow flag. Who is that? That is Sus and Forza Ferrari, I think. So Jack is now 5 seconds off the lead. But he is still in a chance of getting a P6 here, which would be huge for the Haas. Here comes Maxi Block. He's not going to have DRS, but he's going to try and get the better exit on Senjo. He's not going to get it. But here they come. What a race it's been. Dennis with that qualifying ban. Here comes Maxi Block on the very last lap. He's going to the wall of champions, trying to make that move. Unable to make it this time. Here comes Senjo. Senjo is going to win it on track here in Canada. But it's going to be Banner Brandon that wins here at the Gilles Villeneuve circuit here in Montreal to take the Canadian Grand Prix. Jack does take P6 and just misses out. But what a result for the Haas team. What a result for the AlphaTauri as well of Ryan. The 2 Alpines going down to P8 and P9. Dennis, with that qualifying ban, takes P4. Wow. What an end to the race. On the top step, there you have it. Banter Brandon in the Ferrari. Exactly what he needed to do today. And the two Norwegians with their flags waving on the podium. So let's go through it. It is Banter Brandon that wins the Canadian Grand Prix. The Ferrari driver starting on P4 as well. Henke in the Alfa Romeo started in P2, finishes in P2. His Norwegian counterpart of Senjo started in P3, finished in P3. Great points for the McLaren and the Alfa Romeo there. Wow. The Ferrari of Dennis started from P19 on the grid, took the fastest lap, took P4. What a drive. Definitely contention for driver of the day. His Belgium counterpart of Max Bock in the Red Bull from pole position finishes in P5. Jack from P11 on the grid takes P6 in the Haas. What a drive from him. Ryan in the AlphaTauri takes P7. Fanfnis in the Alpine takes P8. His teammate in the other Alpine takes P9. And the Vicar in the Alfa Romeo takes a point. That is worth 10 million quid for the Alfa Romeo team. So what a point that was, and what a point for the Vicar. To get a point in an Alfa Romeo in F7 Realistic is something else. So hats off to you, the Vicar. What a drive. Let's go to interviews as well. If any of them want to join, that's Senjo and Henke and Banter Brandon. If any of you just let me know, are in the comms box. Oh yeah, I've took that main bit away. I just need to update it, so it's just black at the moment. But I did it wrong, so I just need to update it. What I'll do actually is I'll move this one over here for now, like that, and I'll just put it behind the intermission screen like that. There we go, look at that. Right, bear with me guys, 1 second, let me jump into the party so you guys can see who I'm talking to. Right, no, that annoys me, that. Okay, we will start off with Senjo, the McLaren driver, crossed the line in first, takes P3. What a drive, mate. How was that? Can you hear me, Senjo?
Hello, mate. Yeah.
Hi, mate. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I've been sick all day, but that's a freaking podium,
mate. In a McLaren as well. What a drive!
Yeah, I found some really good pace on those softs. I think I could have won the race though if I didn't have a penalty. But yeah, I mean that was amazing. But you have to give some credits to Henke as well. Like he's an Alfa Romeo. His car is much worse than mine. But yeah, anyways, I actually got damage on the safety car restart. Like at the end, so I really thought
really?
My race was like just completely destroyed. But I managed to keep myself in front of Maxi Block, and I barely held on to the podium because TTL Dennis was just 3/10 behind.
Yeah, well, TTL Dennis was really catching up near the end, and to from P19 on the grid, and he had them soft tyres. He was setting fastest laps, and I was just seeing the time dwindle away. I didn't know you had damage, so it was really close. But it must have been difficult near the end there, trying to keep the drivers behind, trying to stay focused. Obviously, you knew you had a penalty, but it would have been a race win without that penalty. But you must still be really happy with a podium in a McLaren.
Yeah, of course. The damage wasn't that bad, but yeah, in the race, like me and Henke, we were going for the medium soft strategy, and we thought that Maxi Block and Banterbrand were gonna get an extreme undercut on us, but then a safety car came out just as we entered the pits, so that really helped us out. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a nice, it was a really good race.
Yeah, it was a really good race, Senjo. You did deserve the win, mate. You really did. It was really unfortunate you had the penalty, but
Yeah,
it was a
I got
fantastic
two
drive.
warnings on the first lap.
Oh,
I
you
just
kidding?
couldn't really focus at the start. Then
Yeah.
I managed to get my head in the game. Yeah.
It's so hard as well when you get so many early warnings to just try not to get any more, especially when you're battling for such important places as well. But fantastic drive, Sandra. It really was. It was great to watch. So congratulations and well done on a brilliant podium, mate.
Thank you so much, mate.
Cheers, Sandro. So we move on to the other Norwegian. We have two Norwegians on the podium tonight. This one finished in P2, started in P2. Henki, how are you, mate?
I'm amazing, mate. In an Alfa Romeo.
Mate, in an Alfa Romeo, that qualifying pace is incredible. But wow, to do it in the whole race as well, stay in P2. Like Senjo said, you knew that Maxi and Brandon were going for the undercut. You tried to stay out and go onto the softs. The safety car came out. It just all fell in place, didn't it?
Yeah, obviously in the qualifying it went really well, and then in the race, me and Sandro managed to stay with the two top guys and just tried to stay on a train with them. And when they pitted, as Sandro said, we knew they would get a very big undercut on us, but that safety car was very lucky.
It was.
And with the new softs, we were able to stay with them and just. And I tried to not get a penalty because I know this track is very easy to get a penalty. So.
Yeah, the corner cuts
really
are so easy, aren't they? Especially around the Wall of Champions, and then you've got turn 3 and 4, and then you've got turn 8 and 9 that are just so easy to get corner cuts.
Yeah, it's too easy almost, but I just knew if I tried to race consistent and stay clean, I would get a really good result, and it ended really good.
Yeah, it definitely did, mate, and you did exactly what you needed to do. You kept it clean, you kept the pace going, and it was just a brilliant drive. Congratulations on a well-deserved podium, Henki.
Thank you so much, mate.
Cheers, mate. So that is the two Norwegians on the podium. Now we move to the Ferrari driver of Banter, Brandon. Brandon, how are you, mate?
I'm very good, thank you.
What a drive. First of all, the big talking point is you went for the undercut with Maxi. You followed him a lap after. You had some amazing battles at the start of that race with the Red Bull. You both sort of followed suit. And then the safety car came out. You pretty much had to do it all again, no?
Yeah, it was difficult, you know, all this following and staying tight at this track, trying to follow someone, and you get all these track limits as well. It's yeah, it's a hard task, but you know, I just stuck at it. I knew I had to get bad boy man as soon as I could.
Yeah.
And I knew Dennis had a drive through as well, so after that, it was about getting Henki, which I managed to get quite quickly. He didn't put up too much of a fight, and then yeah, I just knew I had to stay in 3 seconds of Sendra and Maxi, not do anything stupid.
Yeah.
But it was yeah, really scary because I had 2 warnings, so I was really on edge.
Yeah, well, that was my next question, Brandon, is how many warnings were you on? Because, like everybody says, it's so easy to get them corner cuts on this track. And when you've got so many drivers in front of you with penalties and you're pushing to stay within that 3 seconds, it's very easy to get one yourself as well.
Yeah, exactly. You should have seen me, like the chicane, the last like 2-3 laps. I went 4th gear, I shat myself.
I would have done as well, but the last one as well, Brandon. You went for the undercut. The safety car came out. That really destroyed the undercut for you. It meant that Henki and Senjo, the overcut had worked for them. They were able to get on them fresher tyres. Brandon didn't decide to pit. You decided to pit. Was there at any point that you thought maybe, have I made the right decision, etc.?
Once I realised what those guys were doing, I thought maybe, but then I was able to keep up with Maxi while he was on medium. So I think I don't know. It could be either. I'm really not sure.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, Brandon. But all in all, it was a brilliant performance. Your championship rival is not here today, so he had a race ban, which means that you have took full maximum points away from that. The championship battle is well and truly on, mate. So I cannot wait for next week. Congratulations on capitalising on a brilliant performance and a great race win, mate.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Well done to these little Norwegian boys.
Cheers, Brandon. Nice one, mate. Well done to all the podium sitters. That is Brandon in the Ferrari with the race win, and the two Norwegians, Senjo in the McLaren, Henke in the Alfa Romeo. Wow, what a podium. Ferrari, McLaren and Alfa Romeo. No sign of a Red Bull, but will redemption be next Wednesday? Make sure you tune in at 6 p.m. for F2 and 7:30 p.m. for F1 for Realistic. Make sure you tune in on Sunday for Bronze, Silver and Gold. Fantasy F7 on Monday at 7:30 and Crossplay on Tuesdays at 7:30 as well. Thank you all so much for watching. Really appreciate it. What a race.